Hello friends, welcome to this video of handwriting analysis. Today I will be showing you a piece of one of my clients' handwriting and a full analysis based on that. This entire video is based on this piece of handwriting. For handwriting analysis, we usually use this sentence because it covers all the alphabets in the English language. Now, just looking at this without going into deeper details of graphology, there are a few things I can make out already. So let's start with that. The number one thing is that the letters are very big. Now, you can see if this is the width of the line, the word either occupies the entire width or at minimum more than half. So that's a big word. Those are big letters. Second is that the slant is straight. Sometimes there's a right slant, but it's mostly straight. Now if you see this, if I draw a perpendicular here, it's straight. And that's almost everywhere. Just some places like here, the F is little slanted towards the right side, but mostly it's straight. And these two factors in itself, which I talked about, tell a lot about the personality of the human. I'll cover that in a few moments. The third view is that there's big space between the words. Now, usually people leave space of 1 index finger at approx between two words, but this is bigger than that. And this also has a lot of there's a lot of things that can be read just by this. Fourth point is that this is wrong. It's right aligned. So by that, what I mean is when the sentence ended here, instead of starting the next sentence from here, this person left this entire space on the left side to, I think, try to make the sentence end on the same side, which is the right side. So it's right aligned, and it's not in one but both of these sentences. So it's, and fourth and fifth is that the writing is done in very high pressure and it's cursive. So high pressure can be noticed in places like this, where you can see if the pen has left a thicker strain. And even in places like this, where you can see the pen might have not worked, so that wrote it twice, but you can see that it left a mark even when there's no ink there. So it's very high pressure writing. And of course, it's cursive. You can see the loops, you can see the connected words, you can see that it's very much in cursive. Now, based on those 6 factors, we can already have a lot of analysis done. Just to remind, these are those 6 characters. That's actually right aligned. So just based on this, we can say the person can have a very large social circle. They are very social. But since we can see that there's a lot of gap between words, they do not like that. They choose not to be in large groups. They like being alone by themselves, or maybe just 2-3 people. Second part, they like things done their way. And if that isn't followed, they might get a little upset with things. Thirdly, their confidence is very high, and this is not just interpreted by one, but quite a few of the factors that we discussed before. Fourth, they are very honest. I don't think this person ever pretends to be someone else. They are very honest and real. Fifth, they're very friendly, hence they can make a large social circle. They're happy and they are sensitive. They also, since we see that they mostly write in straight or slant, and sometimes it's slanted, so this combination of a dominant straight and sometimes a slant says that they are very balanced. They, with their logics and feelings, they do not let one take over the other. They can be good at analyzing things based on this. Now, said they're sensitive, I said this again because all six of these factors from some or the other side shout this out that they are very sensitive. They're very independent and they have high goals. And this one tendency, I'm going to talk more about this later, but they can detach themselves from the past. Now, by that I mean emotionally. We'll go deep into this later where I do a deeper analysis. Continuing from those six factors, they are very analytical. As I said, they can balance logic and feelings and they can be very analytical. And hence, I can suggest them they'll be really good in jobs that requires using a lot of data, making decisions based on data. It will suit them. They do not hold grudges. So I said they detach themselves from the past. This is one thing that comes out of it. They do not hold grudges. They're quick to move on. They follow their dreams, irrespective of anyone saying anything to them. They will not be demotivated to follow their dreams. They'll always do that. They focus on their work and they commit to their relationships and their works. They're very hardworking. In fact, they'll gain a lot of success from their hard work. Yes, luck will have a role to play, but their hard work will pay them. They are social, sympathetic, helpful, and very good at communication. They feel before they think. Now, I'll explain this with an example. If you tell this person that someone stole your purse, before giving you suggestions that you should report to the police, you should check the CCTV or whatever else, they'll feel before. They'll try to feel what you went through, how you feel. Is there pain? Is there loss? They'll feel like it happened to them. And then after that only they'll think about suggestions. So they play a lot with emotions. As I said, they're sensitive, so they feel first. And they're also very practical. Now we'll start with deep analysis, talking about their characteristics. Now, they're very realistic and they are very practical people. They are independent thinkers. It's difficult to manipulate people like them, and they thrive on facts. They're very factual. They think they're different. Now, I do not know the person personally, but from this handwriting, I can conclude that in their mind, they think they're different from the entire world. And this can be a reason they do not like being in social groups because they feel they are different from other people. So they feel they don't fit in. As I said, they all keep themselves a little isolated from people. Not saying they do not have a social life, they do, but sometimes they choose to detach from it. They strive and urge for security, satisfaction, and materialistic demands. They have a high self-confidence. They're very sensible. I said they have a little confusion in them. This is because it seems like they have a lot of interest in life and they get confused which one to prioritize, which to do first, what to do first. So they can be a little confused in what path to choose there. Now we'll talk about their emotional characteristics. Emotionally, the person is head over heart. They can connect with anyone at an emotional level. They can even influence people's emotions. They can inspire people and they can motivate them. This is a huge sign of a great leader. And yeah, they are open to new experiences and relationships. And they keep their emotions under control. So they do not like expressing it to people. They feel a lot. As I've said before, they're sensitive. They do feel a lot. They just do not like showing it to people. So they detach themselves. Now, I've said they detach themselves from the past, but they also detach themselves from people. Even with their very close friends or family members, they love them for sure, but they'll keep some element of detachment. And Sometimes a person cannot control and they have an emotional outburst in front of people. If they happen to be in a situation like that, they will also lose control over their emotions, but they will quickly settle back and be all right. They will quickly collect themselves together because they do not like showing their emotions. So they will quickly be all poised about it. So such kind of people function well in emergency as well. And they'll keep calm in those times. And they will be a very good leader. And people get attracted to them. Even people do not know why, but they attract people like they're a magnet. They have a very strong willpower, and sometimes they do have sad thoughts. That's possible. I think it comes a lot from detachment and isolation, but they do have some sad thoughts at times. Moving on, we'll be talking about their personality. They can inspire others. A lot of things from the handwriting shout that out. They are stubborn towards their goals, towards being things the way they want them to be. They are stubborn. They adhere to principles, and it's, since I've also said this before, it's difficult to manipulate them. So they will be very strong to their principles. It's very difficult to, they will never do anything outside their principles. They are proud of themselves, and that's a good thing. They are very self-reliant. They do not trust people with the work, especially personal work. They always try to do things by themselves as much as they can without using anyone else's help. They can be boastful at times. They have a lot of feelings, as I said, and they're very ambitious, critical, and opinionated. They get deeply involved in their work, which is where their hard work also shows. Now, we will talk about the analysis based on the size of their words, the gap between the words, the gap between the lines. You see somewhere it's clashing, somewhere see it's clashing again. There's little space, and some places have spaces. We'll also talk about based on the letter size compared to the first letter, compared to the capital and the other words. So based on size and spaces in this entire handwriting, we conclude that they have a need to make an impression. Now, this can be in anything from small to big things. If they have some hobby or anything, they will try to leave an impression in front of people with their hobbies or with their communicating skills, but they always want to be remembered. And this can be in other things also. For example, their house, their rooms. And if they design their own room, they want it to reflect who they are. So if someone else who knows them sees that room, they say, yes, this is this person's room because it has an imprint, an impression that signifies that this is him. So they have a need to make an impression in everything they do, wherever they go, whoever they meet. They're very open-minded. They relate to people at personal level, and I think this comes from the fact that they can emotionally connect with people. They maintain distance from social contact, and we've said that before also. Now, this can be because they like privacy or they just like being alone. Next, our analysis is based on the margin. So, by margin, I mean just leaving a huge gap on the left side. And you see here also they've left a little bit right gap, like this though could be fitted here, like in this sentence. So, based on a mixture of these two factors, what we can conclude is they're eager to move on from the past. They do not like being stuck in the past. I feel the person might have had some experiences in the past which hurt them, so they try not to hold on to them. They quickly move over. They're very optimistic and impatient. They detach themselves from past. By this I mean they do not keep thinking about what happened in the past. They will have their memories, what they learned from the experiences, and they will use that in their present life also. But emotionally enough, they went through pain or even happiness. They'll try to forget it so it doesn't affect their current life. Next, our analysis is about the health. Now, looking at this handwriting, at the time of this, when this is written, it doesn't seem like they have any physical illness, but I can say their upper body and the lower body comparison, their lower body is heavier. That means their thighs, hips, calves can be heavier than their upper body. Next, we'll do the analysis based on individual letters. So the way of writing each letter, all 26 of them, has a lot of information about the person inside it. So based on how this person wrote all the letters in the sentence, we'll talk about that. So they get along with people very well. They are very creative and sympathetic. They have a lot of compassion within them, and they're ready to explore new relationships and experiences. They are highly secretive. For jobs where they're required to keep secrets, like a secret agent or higher upper management, where you're not allowed to disclose a lot of information, they can do that very well because they are very, very good at keeping secrets. They are very defensive verbally. I want to say here, this is a verbal defense. If someone talks about them to them, like someone says bad things to them about themselves, they will speak up. They will say that, no, this is not how I am. You are wrong. Now, they're not physically defensive. They won't harm anyone physically, but verbally, they will speak up. My next analysis is based on the starting strokes. Now, starting strokes are the strokes you make before starting a letter. Now, these can be in several types. I'll take an example of a J. Some people write like this. Some people do it like this. Observe the starting strokes, okay? Some people go like this. Some people just simply go like this. So here I noticed two kinds of starting strokes, but dominantly they do not have starting strokes. So it's a very few letters that do. So based on this combination of dominantly not having starting strokes and having some two kinds of strokes, what the analysis says that they adhere to their childhood behavior. So whatever they learned, what principles, values they learned in their childhood as a kid, from teachers, from parents, they still follow that. They have held on to those. They cling to past experiences and memories. Now, I said they're detached from past emotionally. What I mean here is they have memories, they know their experiences, and they recall that. They do not recall what they felt through whatever happened in the past, but they do remember what happened and they keep recalling that. They are resistant to change. So whenever they have to do a new thing, like a new project or anything new, they need some time to mentally prepare themselves. They will procrastinate before doing anything new because they have to be prepared. Now, everyone prepares for big things, but they will also prepare for smaller things like giving a presentation. I'm sure this person will practice their presentations the night before and mentally prepare themselves that they are to speak tomorrow or the next day. So they have that tendency. Now I'll be talking about the ending strokes. So they do not have a lot of ending strokes, only a few places I could see them, and those are also of two types. So ending stroke, I'll just give a quick example. So for T, like people like this, or they can go like this, or they can just simply end like this. So there are several types of uh, ending strokes, and I don't see a lot in this person's except two kinds and very, very little. So based on that, I can say that they like being appreciated and complimented by people. They need that acceptance from other people. They are very direct in what they say. And I said that they're defensive, so they directly say what they want to say, and they're very self-sufficient. They are shy, and they play safe. As discussed before, they like preparing, right? So risk doesn't mean preparation, because risk is always done without preparation. They like playing it safe. They like being prepared. They like having a plan A, a plan B. Next, we'll talk based on the middle strokes. Now, most of the words are interconnected in various ways. Some go upwards, some go downwards, some go slant. So based on these, sometimes they've not connected words like here, but dominantly it's all connected. And depending on the type of strokes they have for connecting, I'll be doing this reading. They have 2, 3 types, and based on that, says they have great imagination. They can visualize things, and I think they should use this because law of attraction is something that's based on this principle. They're very logical and scientific, and this can be a great career option for them, I would say. They are hard to, yeah, so as I said before, they do not like expressing their feelings. So it makes it hard for them to communicate what they're feeling. They're great communicators, but when it comes to talking about their emotions, they are not going to do that. They're very warm. People like people get comfortable with them very easily. They're very welcoming in that way. And they choose words carefully. So they don't speak a lot, I would say. But when they do, each and every word is chosen by intention to be said. So whatever they say, they mean it very literally. And they can be great motivational speaker, leader, teacher, because they're great at communicating facts and points or anything except their emotions. Next, I'll be talking about 2 specific letters. So based on the way they write their D, I would say they are sensitive to criticism. They do not like, they do not take criticism, they take it to their heart. And based on the way they write their T, I would say that they are bold and very ambitious. Thank you for listening to this, and I hope you liked it and you enjoyed it. Please leave a like or comment. Please give your feedback, and if you want your handwriting to be analyzed by me, please leave a message or on my Instagram. The link is in description. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a nice day.